Welcome to another episode of the Japa the Travel Audio Occasion, where we keep you informed on how to migrate abroad. In this episode, you'll be listening to an international student who shared her experience on what it's like to study ethics, economics, law, and politics at Ruhr University Bochum in Germany. Want to know more about this study program? Listen till the end. As always, remember that sharing is caring.
It's another day. We're talking about study, work, and live abroad. And I think today's a special day in the sense that we'll be talking about a particular study program, ethics, economics, law, and politics at the Ruhr University of Bochum in Germany. I find this study program particularly interesting because of the combination economics, law, and politics, how it cuts across different disciplines and also offers different career path in the future. So this evening with me is a student from Ruhr University of Bochum who is studying this very course. And we will be catching up and talking about the components of this study program, what you need to study this course at the Ruhr University of Bochum, what kind of opportunities are there for students there, but even more importantly, what can you do after studying this course, and also how much it costs to study this program, if it's tuition free and stuff like this. And as always, if you have a question, feel free to ask. I am going to invite her now to join me as a co-host so we can catch up and talk about ethics, economics, law, and politics here in Germany. Hi, can you hear me, Felicity?
Hi, Mike. I can hear you.
Great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing well. So, are you finally in Germany now?
I cannot really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Great. So I was asking if you're finally in Germany now.
I am finally in Germany, yeah. I've been in Germany since last month.
Great. And how do you like it here?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm asking how do you like it in Germany?
I like it. I mean, to get you other than that, I like it.
Okay, great. It took a while for you before you finally arrived in Germany. You were studying from home for like 1 year.
I was, yeah. Not a lot of us could travel or could, even apply for visas, like for my home country where it was hard. You had to travel for the student visa, and we had border control, like border closures and things like that. So it was complicated. We also saw that and just wanted everybody to be able to attend classes. So I did a full year online.
Hello?
And
Now I can hear you again. I couldn't hear you for a second. So you said you did a full year online from home?
yeah,
Okay. And how was the experience like studying from home?
it was different, definitely. It's not like anything I've done before. It was different, you don't have that person-to-person interaction. But for me, as someone who doesn't really go out that much, and I like the online space as well, so it was also the easier option for me, I think.
Okay.
I liked it.
Okay. All right, cool. Before we proceed, tell me, so how did you find out about this study program, ethics, economics, law, and politics?
To be honest, Germany as a country did not really occur to me.
Okay.
My eyes were open to it by a friend that I met by chance too. A friend, because I finished my undergrad and I worked a little bit, and I was just at the place where I wanted to know what was next, and thank God that's when I met him. And so he just, I don't know, I was exploring Australia, Canada, and those countries, majorly English-speaking countries. And state that I explored Germany as well. I was like, yeah, wait, what? You can study for free in Germany, and why was it not in my face, So I think, what was the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, the question is how you found out about this study program in Germany.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, so the question was how you found out about this study program in Germany.
Yeah. So I guess to answer your question in a short way,
Yeah.
I found it via word of mouth. It was a friend that spoke to me about it.
Okay. Cool. I mean, truly, not many people know about Germany, and it's always comes as a surprise when you tell them that, hey, do you know you can study in Germany tuition free? I mean, I understand finance is one of the main issues when it comes to studying abroad, but the question most times
You
is
are
how
going
much.
off and on mic. I don't know if you're using a mic or something of that sort.
No, I'm not using the mic. I'm just talking from the phone speaker. And now?
Sometimes you are cutting off, so we're not really.
Okay.
You're coming in and out, basically.
Yeah, okay, well, just tell me when you can hear me again. Okay?
What did you say?
Just let me know when you cannot hear me again.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I was saying not many people know about the opportunities in Germany, and most times people complain about funds. Like one of the challenges that they face when they think about studying abroad is the funds to study abroad. But I tell them that, the question most times is how much fund are we talking about here? So there are people who, people have different financial capacities. So for some, what they need is maybe 1,000. Others, what they need is 5,000. Other people, what they need is 10,000. So the questions most time is, how much fund do you need?
Maybe it's your connection, right? Because you're still going off and off.
Okay, let me switch and see. And now, how about now? Is there any change? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, how about now?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So I mean, I'm not sure what's going on, but so I was saying that when people talk about funds to study, most times the question always is how much fund are we talking about here? But Germany has a lot, and not everyone is really aware of the opportunities in Germany. Okay, let's talk more about this study program. So, what do you find really interesting about this ethics, economics, law, and politics? What do you find the most interesting about this study program?
For me, I feel like I've always okay. So ethics, my degree, by the way, it's a master in philosophy. But what's special about it is it has it majors in economics, law, and politics. And for me, I'm just someone that is interested into politics, and it's not something that was always in my face when
Okay.
I was doing my undergraduate, for example. But I was always talking politics, and people would tell me, "You should just study politics, so international relations." And I was like, I can't. But then after my undergrad, after my bachelor's, my interest only grew. So I guess I chose this degree because I genuinely want to know what is in the political world, because I always speak politics, but I wanted to learn a bit more about the world of politics, in a more organized way than just picking what comes to my mind. So for me, it's really interest based. That's why I chose this degree in particular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right, guys. So we will start first and talk a bit about the main subject this evening, and then we will open, the space for taking questions. So before I take any questions, I will let Feli tell us a bit more about the requirement for this study program. So, Feli, what are the requirements for this study program? If someone wants to study ethics, economics, law, and politics at the Ruhr University Bochum, what are the prerequisites for this study program?
Well, the degree is in English, so I would expect that someone speaks English or is really good in the English language before they get accepted. So that's one of the basic prerequisites.
Okay.
And another thing is when you are applying. So, and I say English basically is because when you are applying, like one of the documents required from you is a research paper.
Okay.
For me, I think I wrote on 2 subjects, I think. I think you have to submit a research paper as part of the documents that you send to the school. So English is definitely the basic requirement, but also you have to study a degree. You have to have an undergraduate degree that is related to that master that you're wanting to study. So for me, I did business management in my undergrad.
Okay.
And I think I got accepted because of my papers and also because it has the economics component. So my business degree was useful in that way.
And what the papers that you wrote, what exactly were the papers about?
What was that, sorry?
The papers that you wrote as part of the requirement for the admission, what were the papers about?
So they gave us, I don't remember, actually maybe I do. They gave us a bunch of, a lot of topics that we could choose to write about.
Okay.
Okay, so they give you topics like write about justice, and so you get to choose. You get to look at justice, as a broad topic, and then you narrow it down in an issue that you feel like you can write about. Like for me, I believe I wrote something about democracy in African countries or democracy in Africa, and I talked about my own perspective on how democracy is practiced now in Africa and why it's not really being successful for a lot of African countries, and I went deep into that. That was what I chose, based on the main topic that I chose to write on, to write under. So things like that.
So looking at the subject combinations here, economics, law, and politics, I feel like each of them are like subjects that can stand alone or that actually stand alone. So there are some study programs that just focus completely on economics, others entirely on law, and then others in politics. How do they combine these 3 subjects? Actually 4, because there's also ethics there, So how does this study program combine these 4, subject? I find it very fascinating, and I'm just asking myself, how do they actually connect to each other, economics, law, and politics? What kind of practical applications are there, say, in the society, say, in everyday life,
So, by the way, my degree, it has the 3 areas, economics, law, and politics, but you have the choice to choose 2 that you want to focus on. So for me, I'm focusing mainly on economics and politics. Okay? Because the law subjects are mostly in German. So it's encouraged that to get into them, you need to know German. Because it's German law, because law is like, it differs for each country.
That's right.
And the German law is in German, obviously. So you can choose what two topics that you want to focus on, and if you speak German, then you can choose whether you want to take all three topics or not. And basically, the way it's organized is because the master is a master in ethics. So we have philosophy courses that are compulsory courses each semester.
Okay.
And then we also have courses that we call practical philosophy courses. That one, it basically just tells you, philosophy courses are like standard philosophy. It's like learning about theories and whatnot. And then philosophical theories. And then we have practical philosophy classes, which basically is like philosophy but applied in the real world. So
Okay.
these courses reflect that. Let's say one of my practical philosophy course was capitalism. You know,
Okay.
it tells you, different views of capitalism and how you can use philosophical lenses to look at the pros and cons of capitalism, for example. And then you also have to get some courses in your choice, in your topics of choice. So for me, I take some courses under economics, and I also take some courses under political science. So that's how it goes, basically.
Okay. And so let's have a practical example now. Say at the end of this study program, what are some of the career pathways that one can go? I'm trying to have like an understanding of the everyday use case of this study program. I mean, it's unlike engineering where you know that, okay, if someone studies mechanical engineering, okay, they come out and you can imagine what they will do, you know. Could you give some examples of the career path that people who study these courses, you know, can go into later in the future?
It's a really broad degree, as you can see. So there's a lot of ways that you can go. So you can choose to go into the diplomatic world, work in international organizations, for example, work for your country's government, for example, in embassies, like in foreign affairs offices. Or you could also choose to go the business route, for example, by working in admin positions or
Okay.
management positions.
Okay.
So I feel like it depends. If you choose to go the political side, your choices are endless in the sense that you can choose to work anywhere that you want, in NGOs, in international organizations, in governments, in your own country. You can also, like for me, for example, what I'm really hoping for is to start my own company when I finish, my own media company.
Okay.
It's really weird. This is not something that you see, but once you are studying, it opens your eyes because journalism is politics.
Yeah.
So you can choose to do journalism. It's endless, really.
Okay. Let's talk a bit more about the prerequisites. So, you studied business management at your undergraduate level. So, which other undergraduates, study programs can qualify you for this master's degree? I don't imagine someone who studied chemistry would qualify for this degree, right? So, what do you have to study initially for you to qualify for this master's program?
Okay, I imagine that there are quite, like, the obvious ones would be if you studied philosophy.
Okay.
If you studied a business degree, for example, or by business degree, I mean if you studied maybe accounting, business management, or economic. And what another thing I would say, if also you studied like international relations or something related to political science in your undergrad, it would qualify you.
Okay. And how much do you pay for the tuition fees for yearly, per semester? How expensive is it?
Per semester, I pay 341. Actually, sometimes it goes up a little bit, but basically I pay no more than No more than 350 per semester.
Okay. So that means in 1 year, the maximum you pay for this study program is 700 euros.
Yeah, that's the maximum. It doesn't go beyond that. So it's 700 euros, even less.
So if one would calculate that, so that means the complete amount for this study program is for 2 years, right? So the complete amount for this study program would be 700 times 2, so less than 1,500 euros. Is this correct?
If you finish it in 2 years, then yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But what do you get out of this? Do you, as a student in Ruhr University Bochum, do you get some things out of this 350 euros per semester that you pay? Do you get some, I don't know.
Any advantage?
Yeah. Or is it just basically for the study program, or are you actually making this payment for something else?
No. Okay, so most of what I pay is really for my ticket. It's probably like 70% of what I pay in my student contribution. We don't call it really school fees or anything because it's really nothing. School fees is like thousands, but this one is like 341-ish. So I paid mostly like 70% of it probably just goes to my semester tickets. So if you are a student and you're paying this contribution, most of it goes to your ticket, which means you are allowed to travel in your state for free. If you're holding that ticket, you don't get to pay per trip or anything. You can travel as much as you want within your state of study without paying for like public transport. So most of it goes to that.
Okay. And do you get some other benefit as a student where you study in the States? So besides the transports, so do you get some other benefits? Maybe like hostels or accommodation, visiting museums and some centers within your city?
I have not experienced it yet. I have heard about it. If you do hold a student card, you can get discounts in such places, but I have not personally experienced it yet.
Okay.
But these are not things that are attached to my semester contribution, but they're things that you can enjoy as a student.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, the point here is this. For those who are not aware, you can study 100% tuition free in Germany. So, what you pay for usually is called the semester contribution. And this is also the student ID is what covers your transport within that state or within the city, as the case may be, plus many other benefits that also come because you are a student. So in other words, the study program is actually 100% free, because if you well just like a regular person in that city, the amount you pay for transport is like way more than 350 euros per 6 months. And actually 350 is on the high side. So the range of the semester contribution is between 120 euros to 350. I haven't seen anyone more expensive than 350. And I feel like that 350 for Ruhr University of Bochum, it's so because the state is a really big state and your student ticket allows you to travel all throughout the state. So not just your city, but if you are a student in any part of that state, North Rhine-Westphalia, you are allowed to travel all the states. So I like that location. It's a very student-friendly location. I was there about 5 or 6 years ago, and I also visited there recently. It's a nice location. It's a very student-friendly place. So if you're considering studying in Germany, and you're thinking about one of the most student-friendly locations to study, I highly would recommend North Rhine-Westphalia. Any city within that state. I think statistically they have the best economy in Germany. They are the richest state in Germany. I think it's usually between Bavaria and then North Rhine-Westphalia. But I prefer North Rhine, where this school is, because it's not so expensive. When you go down south of Germany, the economy there is good, but the lifestyle is a bit on the high side. Whereas to the west, they have good economy, and also the lifestyle is not so very expensive. So yeah, Meanwhile, guys, if you have any question, feel free to request to speak. I'll let you ask your question. If your question is about the study program that we are talking about this evening, you can ask. If it's about studying in Germany generally, you can also ask that. Okay, so back to you, Feli. So, how was it like when you finally landed Germany? You spent 1 year studying from home before you finally got your student visa. I'd like us to cover two more things before the end of this session. So let me ha 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 ha. Okay, so to wrap, I think you're on now. You can ask your question. Yeah, you may unmute yourself and speak now if you want.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi.
Yes. To get to Germany, what do you have to do for masters? Like, what do you need to get to Germany for masters?
It's pretty simple and straightforward. First and foremost, the first requirement is you need a bachelor's degree, right? And then the next thing would be what do you want to study? So typically, to come to Germany, what you need is a student visa, right? And to get the student visa, you need a university admission from a recognized German university, either public or private. And then, depending on your country, depending on where you're coming from in the study program, the visa requirements might vary. But one of the basic thing is that it's the admission in a German university, and then that you have a proof to show that you're capable of supporting yourself financially for the first 1 year. Now, the financial supports that they're talking about here is finance for your living condition as an individual. So the German government wants to make sure that you have enough money to take care of yourself. And that means money for your accommodation, money for your health insurance, because health insurance in Germany is compulsory. Money for what else again? So accommodation, health insurance, food, and everything that you need as an individual. And they have calculated this amount and say, okay, a regular or an average student in Germany needs around 861 euros per month, you know. So depending on which option you choose to show this proof of finance, you can opt between the blocked account, or you have a scholarship from a recognized German organization, or there's someone here in Germany who says, okay, I know this person, I am going to be responsible for their, living conditions, so their finances basically. And this person tenders a letter of sponsorship. So, but to answer your question really short, what you need is a student visa. And what you need to get a student visa is an admission to a German university and also a means to prove your financial sustenance in Germany.
The question is, do they care about your class of the first class or the second or higher? Get what someone.
I can't hear you. You're really breaking up. But if I got you, you're asking if they care about your class of degree.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. And again, it depends on where you are applying for the student visa from. So some countries, the German embassy do not have such restrictions. But I think what I found out recently is that in countries where there are a lot of applications or a lot of students who want to study in Germany, so when there are so many requests coming in, they raise the requirement in the sense that there's, say we will attend first to first class student or first class candidate, and then we will attend to scholarship candidate. So they begin to just categorize. Basically, you have something like category A and then B, and category A are usually first class scholarship and PhD candidate, and then other classes of degree that fall under category B and stuff like that. So that's not the case in every country, but in countries where there are many applications, to study in Germany, this happens. They do that just to, I don't know, reduce the number of applicants that they are attending to per day, per month, as the case may be.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. God bless.
No problem. So yeah, Feli, I wanted you to.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, can I DM you?
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. Yeah. Feli, I don't remember the last thing I wanted us to cover before the end of this session. Do you remember?
No, you did not actually state. I think you were interrupted a bit, but
Okay.
yeah, go on.
I think I wanted us to talk about your how was it like, when you landed to Germany, what you had to do at first, and maybe you could also talk a bit about your student visa application, how it was, how it went through.
So for me, the first thing that I did was to, first of all, decide that really, yes, I wanted to go study in Germany, and why I had to choose that option over the ones that I was contemplating before. So once I made that decision, then now that's when I started looking for courses to study. So as you guys know, I went to the famous, DAAD website, the daad.de. And so there I was basically looking for different tuition-free master's options. And so I found mine and I applied. I applied to 3 schools. 2 of them accepted me. The other one did not. And then after I got accepted, then I had to wait. I started school, but I started it online because I couldn't travel. And then after that, because my school at least, is going to switch to face-to-face this semester. So I decided to apply for visa. And so I got it and then I came.
Cool. And when you landed in Germany, how was it like? How did you feel?
Sorry, what did you say?
No, I'm asking, how it felt like when you arrived Germany,
Yeah. It was cold. It was cold. The weather was cold. But I also felt like the process of coming to Germany was much easier than I thought it would have been. The thing that always amazes me until today is how easy it is to go through their immigration. The immigration system, it's very straightforward, and if you have everything in order, you don't have to worry about anything. So they're extremely organized. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything that you would like to say more, for someone listening to this podcast or this Twitter space later on, someone who wants to study Masters in Ethics, Economics, Law, and Politics? Is there something you'd like to say to them before we round up this session?
Yeah, I would say, follow your heart, whether you want to study masters in ethics like I'm studying or anything else. I would say follow your heart and believe that you can really get accepted. It's not as hard as sometimes people imagine it to be. So I would say go for it.
Yeah.
And come to Germany, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds. I think
Yeah.
if someone wants to do something there, usually everything you need is out there. If you find the right information, and I always believe that people are always willing to help you. You just have to ask them, and maybe ask them nicely. So guys, if this study program is for you, it's 100% free. And as you know, your student visa in Germany comes with a work permit. So for people who are always concerned about if they will be able to work while studying in Germany, yes, 100% you can work while studying in Germany. You just have to keep in mind the number of hours that you are allowed to work in the state where you are. And also, don't overwork yourself so you can work and study at the same time, and don't miss out on anything. Besides that, feel free to get in touch if you have any question. And I will appreciate if you took a moment to retweet tweet at this space so that, people who might be looking for information like this will get to know about it, and hopefully it will help them in one way or the other. So finally, I'd like to thank you, Feli, for joining the session, for sharing your insight. It's been really helpful.
No problem.
And for everyone who tuned in, I hope you could learn one or two things. And I wish you all a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening till the end. Let us know if you have any questions. Our contact details are in the description. Remember to share because you care.